I'm Shannon, standing in Grandma's backyard, surrounded by the aftermath of her 70th birthday party. I feel a strange sense of liberation. The once lively gathering is now a sea of scattered chairs and fading string lights. My so-called family members are in disarray. Some are crying, some are shouting, and others are just sitting in stunned silence. I never thought this day would come, but looking back, it was inevitable. 6 weeks ago, my phone rang at the crack of dawn. It was Grandma, inviting me to her 70th birthday party. I was shocked because usually family announcements were made in a group chat that I assumed I'd been left out of. I agreed immediately, thinking about the past decade I'd spent taking care of her. While my half-sister, Lily, was busy posting perfect family moments on her Instagram with 30,000 followers, I was the one driving Grandma to her doctor's appointments every Saturday, cleaning her house on Sundays, and keeping her company during those long, lonely nights. 3 days before the party, I called Mom to ask about the dress code. She told me it was casual, but when I stopped by her house to drop off Grandma's medication, I saw a text from Lily on Mom's phone. It said they were expecting a cocktail dress and photographers at 4 p.m. My heart sank. I left without saying goodbye, trying to convince myself that it was just a mistake. That evening, I decided to call Lily. We weren't close. We had different fathers and completely different childhoods. When I asked if she needed help with the party, her response was cold. "Oh, Grandma invited you too," she said, as if it was a surprise. Later, I received a voice message from her where she was mocking me to someone else, saying I thought I was a VIP just because Grandma liked me. When she texted me, saying it was sent by accident, I knew this was more than just a one-time outburst. 2 years ago, my world fell apart when I discovered my husband, Jake, had been having an affair with his coworker. I called Mom, sobbing, but her response was heartless. "Maybe if you'd been home more," she said. Lily's contribution was a public Facebook comment saying some people just aren't meant to keep a man. Only Grandma was there for me, calling me every day, just listening to me cry. 4 days before the party, at 11 p.m., I was reading in bed when I got a notification. Lily had added me to a group chat called True Family Circle. As I scrolled through the 820 unread messages from the past 7 years, my hands started to shake. The chat was filled with Mom, Lily, Aunt Grace, 2 other aunts, and 3 cousins. They'd created it as a place to talk without me. I was labeled as the charity case. There were bets on my failures, celebrations when I lost my job, and when my marriage ended, they collected money from the bets. My own mother even wrote that she was relieved I didn't have children, one less grandchild to worry about. I spent the next few hours screenshotting every single message. While doing so, I noticed a conversation from 6 months ago. They were talking about Grandma's strange notebook, and Lily had seen my name written in it multiple times. I remembered Grandma saying she kept track of everything, and I started to wonder if she knew more than I thought. At 4:19 a.m., after saving all the evidence, I sent a text saying, "Thanks for the receipts," and left the group. Immediately, my phone started buzzing with calls and texts from Lily, Mom, and Aunt Grace, but I declined them all. I knew I couldn't expose them on social media or burn bridges right away. Grandma's party was in 4 days, and I didn't want to ruin it, but I also couldn't stay silent. 3 days before the party, Lily showed up at my apartment, all tears and apologies. But when I brought up the bets on my divorce, she tried to shift the blame. She also warned me not to tell Grandma, saying it could kill her. I told her I was going to the party because Grandma invited me, and what happened there was up in the air. The day of the party arrived. When I walked through the gate in my cocktail dress, I'd done my own research this time. Mom's face went pale, and Lily grabbed her arm. For the first 2 hours, I was ignored. During group photos, I was placed in the back row, and when appetizers were passed, I was overlooked. When guests asked who I was, Lily introduced me as just a cousin. But then, Grandma called me to sit with her. She whispered that she had something to say at the end of the party. 2 hours in, Lily made a big speech about being there for Grandma all these years, but I knew the truth. When a distant cousin asked me to say something, Lily cut me off, saying I was too busy with work. I told her Grandma knew who'd really been there. As the party wound down, Grandma stood up and tapped her glass. She started talking about family, and specifically about the person who'd been there for her for the past 10 years. She then pulled out her notebook and started reading entries about all the times I'd helped her. The air in the yard changed as she exposed the truth. Uncle Tom, Aunt Grace's husband, then stepped forward and revealed that he'd seen the group chat 6 months ago and had shown Grandma all the messages. Grandma said she'd known for 6 months and had waited for the right moment to expose everything. She then pulled out a folded document and announced that she'd updated her 3 months ago. Her house would go to me because I'd cared for it and filled it with love for 10 years. The remaining assets would be divided equally among the rest of the family. Lily tried to protest, but Grandma was firm. She said I was her real family, the one who'd shown up when it mattered. I stepped forward and told them I was done pretending. I wasn't angry or bitter. I just accepted that they decided I wasn't part of their true family 7 years ago, and I was okay with that. After the party, the fallout was immediate. On social media, Lily lost 3,000 followers in a week, and her Instagram comments were filled with condemnation. Mom's social circle started to distance themselves from her. Aunt Grace and Uncle Tom got divorced. Cousin Amy, who had laughed at my marriage failing, texted me to apologize. 3 days after the party, I visited Grandma in her garden. She told me she'd waited for the right moment to expose them all, and she wanted everyone to know the truth. She said justice and truth were more important. 2 weeks later, Mom came to my door with a photo album. She admitted that she was ashamed of her first marriage and saw me as a reminder of her failure. She asked for a chance to fix things, and I told her we needed 3 months of no contact before we could try. Lily sent me a long, hand-written letter explaining that she was jealous of my relationship with Grandma and started the chat because she wanted to feel like she belonged. I wrote back, telling her I understood her reasons, but that they weren't excuses. I didn't hate her, but I didn't want a relationship with her either. 3 months later, I'm living in Grandma's guest room. Mom and I have had a couple of cautious conversations. Lily's Instagram is public again, focused on healing and growth, but it doesn't concern me. Uncle Tom sends me Christmas cards, and Cousin Amy and I had an awkward but not terrible coffee together. I still work long hours in the ICU, but I don't feel like I'm waiting for permission to belong anymore. I lost the illusion of a family, but I found myself and the true meaning of family in Grandma.